Hello and welcome to my review of the Warhammer 40,000 Conquest issue 72. As you can see, a bit of a change of scenery because I've got a lot going on today, and over the past few days it's literally taken me days to set up the entire Imperium force. If we just move over to there, we've got all of the Death Guard and the Chaos Space Marines, which I'm working on the videos for that. So hence why we are here. So a little bit of a behind the scenes tour there. Still got a few more videos to produce on the collections. Let's crack on with this video though, which is the review of the issue 72. Decent issue because you get these two, or you get the kit for the Chaos Spore, which includes two of them. Highly customizable, lots of options, a load of spare parts. We'll go through those in a moment, and we'll also go through the size comparisons. But to buy this kit, or these two Chaos Spawns separately from Games Workshop, will cost you £27.50. So that's fantastic. You're saving almost £20 here. It's a better saving than even if you were to get it at a discount from a third party. So if you can pick up this issue, it's definitely worth doing, and is more of a return to form than getting 2 pots of paint in the issue. Anyway, let's have a look at the issue itself. So you've got Death Guard Chaos Spawn. Great that we've actually got an article about them. You've got Nurgle Chaos Spawn, The Price of Failure, The Beast of Noxar, Zargox Grench. Then Genestealer Cults, why not? A little bit about the brood cycle of a cult. You've got the first generation and so on. Showcase, more of a showcase. They're a decent looking army. Unfortunately they use the old Cadian sculpts for the Brood Brothers, but the rest of the sculpts are fantastic, especially the bikes as well. Just showcases them there, and the vehicles are pretty cool. You've got the Stormhawk Interceptor for Space Marines. And then how to build the Chaos Spawn. As you can see, look, that's the sprue which we looked at in the last video. There's loads and loads of eyeballs, claws, tentacles, arms, heads, you name it. Look, as you can see, look at that. I think the hardest part you'll have, other than battling with the mold lines, is deciding kind of which poses to put it in and which arms to use and which spikes. I kind of went with everything. As much as I could. Yeah, so that's how they build it. And then painting it, they use the Death Guard green for the base. They paint some of the arms black, but they also paint the tentacles sort of Cadian flesh tone colour. There's the finished models. Does look alright with the green, that works. I'm not sure what really colours I want to make mine. I definitely want to do the tentacles, this fleshy colour, where they have an excellent contrast paint, the Gilliman flesh, I think it is. Anyway, there's the rules. That's probably been FAQ'd by now, and it most likely will be changed in the upcoming Death Guard supplement. But that's the issue itself. We look at the next two issues, which, yeah, unfortunately, issue 73 is just the two paints, Nihilakh Oxide and Nurgle's Rot. Still very decent paints, though. I use Nurgle's Rot all the time for the tentacles. It just gives a bit of a wet, slimy look. And Nihilakh Oxide, I use that all the time for something like the bronze parts of the armour, like, the rivets and things, and that works fantastically well. Okay, let's have a look at the Chaos Spore models themselves, then we'll have a look at the spare parts. So here is one of them. I gave it like a hand. It's only got 4 fingers there, but you've also got a claw. You've got this long arm tentacle thing, and another one. Got like hooved feet. This spiky clubbed tail. You've got some tentacles with the growth. There's a gap there. I think that was deliberate for me. I didn't want to put too many tentacles coming out of that, but there you go. And then there's one on its head. But yeah, you've got different holes and divots and all kinds of things to put certain arms and such on there. You can see the mold lines. I've left the mold lines on for this purpose, just to show you where they are and how prominent they are, which is, yeah, highly prominent. And then this is the other Chaos Spawn. Right here, this one is more of a bug fly type, really fits in well with my Nurgle Death Guard force a bit better than the other one. You probably see the other one in the actual Chaos Wordbearer's force more than this one, but yeah, I wanted to do like a bug type one with claws and a fly type head, but again, you've got certain holes and divots where you can just put tentacles and arms and all kinds of things on there. But yeah, decent looking models still. They're an old kit though. I am pleased that they did come out in plastic eventually. Now then, these are the spare parts, which there are many. You'll probably be shocked at just the number of them, but yeah, here they are. I think a little ball just flew off the shot. I say a ball, it's most likely an eye. But yeah, if we get the camera right, we can see, yeah, that's like an eye, and you can paint an eye on there, like a blinking eye. I think this one might have an eyelid. Yep, little eyelid there. But yeah, you've got everything if we just grab these. Look at this. You've got all kinds of tentacles and different heads. Go for a chaos look, go for a Slaneshi look. You know, growths, webbing, arms, these spikes. You know, more hands, more arms. This has grown a hand. This has grown an arm with a hand holding an axe. You know, this kind of weird face with a corn symbol. I mean, there's all kinds of spiked arms, fingers. Yeah, if you're on the fence about this kit, if you were to get it separately, don't be, because although it's old, like I say, you've got a load of options there, much like the Gargant kit too. And of course, these Chaos Spawns have got the added advantage of being able to use in your Age of Sigmar army for your Chaos Demons. So not only can you use them for Death Guard, you can use them for Chaos Demons 40k, for your Demon armies for Age of Sigmar. So they're a very versatile kit if you wanted to use them across multiple gaming systems. Okay then, size comparisons. Where do they measure up? Well, the first size comparison I want to make is just with the old Chaos Spawn model. Now this is metal or pewter, and it looks horrific. I still probably might spray this back to white. I sprayed this Death Guard green a long time ago, but I'm having second thoughts now that there's some decent contrast paints out there. This was horrific. This model back in the day. It didn't give me nightmares, but it was very disturbing to look at. One of the most disturbing models GW have ever made. It's got this horrible extended neck with this gaping maw filled with a mouth chocker full with rows upon rows of razor sharp teeth. It's got this horrible mutated arm with a hand, very sinewy. You can just feel the power coming from this creature. Although the legs are quite stumpy, they've got claws on. You've got some barbed tentacles, which I can only imagine give you so much pain. And then you've got these extended growths with kind of clawed hooks on, with a couple of human arms dotting about, and I think actually a human head there. It's almost like this Chaos Spawn is birthed out of a once human form, which is very much depicted in the 40k novels and Horus Heresy and a couple of the Horus Heresy novels actually. So yeah, you go from this to a little bit more, I say, family friendly. Who knows? But yeah, this is a bit more, yeah, soft core, I want to say, and this is very hardcore. But yeah, other than the sort of downgrade in terms of horror, they are on the same size bases. The original Chaos Spawn is similar kind of height, a bit more stumpy looking, but they all go together very well. You know, there's a nice synergy between them. You know that they're Chaos Spawn just from looking at them. Anyway, other size comparisons. Here is a Beast of Nurgle, which is bigger. You know, bigger base, bigger presence. Yeah, it's a bit pricey. A bit funky looking. I do like all of these tubules or tubes or tentacle type hair things, very Medusa-esque, and they share these tubes on the feculent armor. So if you have a couple of these near that tree, I would like to get a second one of these, to be fair, these kind of slug type creature things, then yeah, again, it's going to complement the Chaos Spawn, it's going to complement the tree. Fun fact is that these Beasts of Nurgle, they're very playful, and they beg for attention, you know, often crushing the target to death because they want to be close to it and get the attention. But then if they don't get the attention that they are looking for, they will just turn into like a cocoon and then pop out as one of the blight drones, which is yeah, pretty horrific when you think about it. This is kind of like a larvae type thing. But yeah, anyway, that's the Beastly Nurgle, bit of an off rant. And then we've got some standard sized sort of models for the Chaos Spawn. So Potswalkers, they're going to be a fair bit bigger than the Potswalkers, even the Plague Bearers, and quite possibly, you know, chunkier than the normal than the normal Plague Marines too. Here's a Rhino for size comparisons, just to give you an idea of where these Chaos Spawn stack up to a Rhino. And then I've actually got a couple of size comparisons with, I say, my usual models. I've packed away a couple of the others. I found Slime Arbo, but we've got a different intercessor here in terms of a Hellblaster, and we have a painted normal Space Marine. So I hope this size comparison is still adequate for you. But yeah, compared to a normal Space Marine, it does dwarf a normal one. But a Primaris, it is still a fair bit bigger, definitely chunkier. And then Slime Arbo, yeah, much bigger. Still think Slime Arbo could take it down. Anyway, that's all of the size comparisons. Let's jump into the rules for the Chaos Spawn. So you'll find the Chaos Spawn in your Death Guard Codex under the fast attack section, which is great because it means they're not elites, they're not heavy support. The only downside of that is you're going to have to choose them over Plague Drones, Fetid Bloat Drones, or my Mythic Blight Haulers, which again are one of my favourites. Now, they're pretty cheap. They're a power points cost of a 2 or a points cost of 33 points per model, which isn't too bad. You can have between 1 and 5. If you can have between 1 and 5, and for each extra 1 above 1, and for each extra, you're going to have to pay an extra 2 power. You're going to have to pay an extra 2 power points. Each Chaos Spawn attacks with Hideous Mutations, so that's the only attack it's really got. Now the Now its stat line reads, it's a movement of 7 inches, weapon skill 4+, so only 50-50 to hit. Ballistic skill, it doesn't have one. Strength is 5, toughness is 5, 4 wounds, D6 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 5+. Each Chaos Spawn attacks with its Hideous Mutations. Now, that is a melee weapon. Strength of the user, which is 5, AP is -2, and damage of 2. That's not too bad. It's a bit poor that, you know, you're getting D6 attacks. I mean, if you're really lucky, you could get 2 D6s and then whip out, you know, 12 attacks. But you could also be very unlucky and only get 2 attacks, which is, yeah, quite poor. Now, abilities: fearsome. Units within 1 inch of any enemy Chaos Spawn must subtract 1 from their leadership. It's quite nice. Mutated beyond reason. This is one of the main reasons you'll get them. When a unit of Chaos Spawn makes its close combat attacks, roll a d3 and consult the table below. Now, on the d3 result of a 1, so that's 1 or 2, Razor Claws. The Hideous Mutations of all Chaos Spawn in the unit have an AP of -4 until the end of the fight phase. That's fantastic, but again, you could only have the 2 attacks. D3 result of a 2, so that's a 3 or 4. Grasping Pseudopods. Each Chaos Spawn in the unit adds 2 to its attacks characteristic until the end of the fight phase. That could be horrific because, yes, with 2 of them you could end up with 16 attacks. Very nice. And then finally, D3 result of a 3, so that's a 5 or a 6. Toxic Hemorrhage. You can re-roll failed wound rolls for this unit until the end of the fight phase. Keywords: Chaos, Nurgle, Heretic Astartes, Death Guard, Beast, and Chaos Spawn. So, there you go. It's one of the fastest units that Death Guard have a movement of 7 inches. I mean, especially when you compare it to, you know, even Beasts of Nurgle, they are slower at 6 inches. You know, the normal Terminators are 4 inches, normal Plague Marines are 5 inches. So it's definitely one of the fastest units you'll have in your Death Guard force. It's just not as fast as the Mythic Blight Haulers, which do have a load more abilities, much more survivable with their invulnerable save. It would have been nice to have these Chaos Spawn as having an invulnerable save. You know, that's what I always expected them to have, is being demonic and things, but I guess not. But I guess they're not as demonic as, you know, the Plague Drones and even the Blight Haulers. You know, yes, the Blight Haulers are fair bit more expensive, but you're getting a faster unit, you're getting you know, missile launcher at 48-inch range, and you're getting lots of other abilities like the disgusting resilient and the invulnerable saves and the minus modifiers too. Chaos spawns, I think they do have their place. You know, if you ran them in a group of 5 and you say we're lucky enough to get 6 attacks each, then you are going to pump out 30 attacks, and plus if you get the -4, that's going to be horrific. You know, you've got strength 5 -4. You know, re-rolling wounds is also very nice, especially with only that strength of 5, and also adding more to the attacks. So any of those D3 results are pretty decent, but its performance is so random in terms of the number of attacks and the mutated beyond reason, that it's difficult to recommend it. Although it's fun, don't get me wrong, it'd be a very fun unit to use and to run across the battlefield. If I was going to use them, I wouldn't run them in just 1. I'd run them in the 2 or even the 3. You know, I'd have this chunky boy in there as well, all running at the enemy, because if anything, they look pretty mean, pretty scary, and that may well divert the attention of some of your other more pricier units. But what do you guys think of the Chaos Spawn? Do you think that they're now due another plastic kit upgrade? I certainly do, but as it stands, they're still an alright unit, and definitely a welcome addition to this Conquest subscription. Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Papa bless.